John saved Kyle as when he was a young boy, and you see that in this film. Um, once again, it lies that John, he knows so much, he's been given so much by his mother, yet he doesn't really know his mother. And then with Kyle, he knows who he is, what his role in destiny is. Even Kyle's the opposite of John. He doesn't know, even though John's aware of everything that John's supposed to be, and also what Kyle is for him, or is his father. But and through that, there's a friendship in the years of the war. There's a brothers in arms. They fought side by side. They've been together, and and John for Kyle is more than just John Connor, the Messiah, or the one that's the leader of what remains of the humans. But he's a father figure, which is a very interesting point to pick it up. And the film really it hits that really beautifully in terms of John sends him back right at the heart of his own conundrum about there is no fate but that which we make for ourselves. In that, even though he hopes that what his fate is, and when he knows Kyle's fate, Kyle always dies, that maybe it might change, even though everything else that's been told and foretold and laid out for him by Sarah has come true. And so there's still that remnants of John, hoping that he can truly affect something. You also find out in this film that, the Guardian's been sent back by someone to protect her in a new alternate timeline that this film picks up and uses. And so the Sarah that John gets to meet when she arrives in another timeline that John's not expecting her to be there is a very different woman to the one that he remembers. And she's kind of changed her own course about who she is. And, she's not the mother I hoped she would be, so to speak. I love working with Arnold. He's a guy that, you can learn a lot from. Just not that he sets out to be a teacher, but just watching the way that he is. He's got just a wonderful joy of life and way of being. He's a very happy man, and he's a great conversationalist. He's interested in a lot of things, and this is his iconic role. You look at what Arnold's done. He's set up so many films. He's done so many. You're constantly surprised. Like, that's right, Arnold Schwarzenegger was in that too. And he loves what he does, and so the energy that he brings to that is fantastic. He's larger than life, but yet he's right. He's your buddy. He's right next to he's right there for you. And he knows what he's doing. He's got so much experience with fights and on film. He's the guy you want to have a fight with. He really is. He's if there's anyone. He's the one. The whole cast has been easy. It's we all get on, and a lot of that is back to Arnold. We've got a guy there that that we're all here because of. This Terminator worked largely because of Jim Cameron and his story and but Arnold was just like it was just brilliant casting. Really, the stars crossed and you had this guy who just was the Terminator. Emilia brings a wonderful femininity to it as well, like a strength in femininity as well. Not to say that Linda wasn't feminine or whatever, but it was such a stripped, hard, bare. The Sarah we pick up now is a different woman to the one that, things have changed. He's a very smart man, and he knows story and he knows actors, and he comes from some of the greatest TV ever done, The Sopranos and then on Game of Thrones and Mad Men. He's just got a wonderful doggedness, but gentleness as well, to be able to, it's a long, big, tough shoot, and it requires a director that's going to support you and keep you going, and also just keep an eye on, that it's done properly and done right, and we don't move on until we got it. It's some of the most enjoyable action I've ever done. It's creative and it's fun. Spinning around, we've got some of the fight moves, and coming down off the ledge and jumping up and down on a big pile drive. I mean, it's just been cool, you know. I think it's going to be a very good mix of, you know, food for thought and intelligence, because Terminator's always had good food for thought, so to speak. You know, good stuff that we can relate to, that touches on our ideas, particularly not just with, you know, a nuclear apocalypse now, but technology and the way it's going, and you know, and artificial intelligence, and it ultimately overtaking us, and you know, and you just, you know, you can't expect something that is smarter than us to be happy about being its master, us being its master. It will overtake us, and then morally, how do we stand on that as we give up more and more? And so at the heart of, you know, all the action lies, you know, is essentially still a film for our time, for our thoughts and our issues and our imagination. And
hello, I'm Valerie with So You Think You Know Movies. Today the topic is horror. So, did you know that a glove belonging to Freddy Krueger makes a cameo in Evil Dead 2? Yeah. Moving on, the film Saw was filmed in just 18 days. Yeah, and closing out with, if you can believe it, the word zombie is never spoken in The Night of the Living Dead. Download our Film Is Now app, available for both Android and iOS.